Okay. So in the next few minutes, I'll just be sharing to us a brief summary of what this year's summit is all about. The mindset of high-performing sales professionals. Why is this important? I recently ran a survey analyzing the interactions of salespeople with prospective customers and even customers. And I realized that 90% of the time, salespeople are trying so hard to sell something. So hard. It might not be a published survey, but it actually tells us something very important. And that is the fact that there's a mindset to which most of us enter sales. There's a mindset to which most of us think sales should be. There's a way we think sales should happen. And that is the fact that in order for us to sell something, we always feel that we need to over and over and over again tell the prospect all we know about the product and keep telling the prospects all we know about the product until they decide to buy from us. And this mindset has actually influenced or frustrated a lot of salespeople on the field, because you go into the field expecting that when you say so much, the customer or the prospective customer should automatically buy from you. But the truth is that sales success is 80% mental, 80% of the way you think, and 20% of actually what the product you're carrying. So it's very important for you as a salesperson that as you go into a sales call or you try to sell to someone, you should understand that your mindset, the way you think, is way more important than what you're saying or what you're selling. And that's basically what this whole summit is going to be about. So in the next 3 days, you're going to be hearing a lot about things, strategies, and tactics to help you to improve your mindset, such that in this year 2022, as you go out to sell, you have the right mindset and you'll be able to win your customers more effectively. From experience and from my interactions with a lot of salespeople, a lot of you, I have actually discovered that there are 3 reasons why salespeople perform poorly and they never meet targets. The first reason is the fact that salespeople lack sales confidence. The second reason is the fact that they don't have a plan to win and to keep customers consistently. And the third reason is the fact that some salespeople cannot identify and maximize opportunities as they should. Now, because I have so short time, I would actually just talk about I will just handle one of these problems, and that is the lack of sales confidence. Sales confidence can be improved. It can be improved with your thoughts, with your beliefs, and with your knowledge. And when I talk about knowledge, I mean your product knowledge. You know that if you have information, if you have the right information about your product, it boosts your confidence. When you go to sell to someone and you know everything about your product, you know the benefits, you know the features. When they're asking you a question, you're answering intelligent, your confidence is elevated, is improved, is better compared to when you don't know so much about your product. Another thing that boosts our self-confidence is the way we think and the way we behave, or what we believe in. And our mindset actually influences that. Sales mindset basically, or our mindsets are basically a set of beliefs that shape how we make sense of the world and ourselves. It influences how we think, how we feel, and how we behave in any given situation. So now we see that it's important for us to have the right mindset if we want to indeed boost our sales confidence as salespeople. You can't necessarily, you can't have better confidence if you don't work on your mindset. That's like the engine house of your confidence. That's where the confidence starts from. It starts from your mindset. So we have abbreviated what I would explain to you what Combs PPT. I'm sure some of you will be wondering what's Combs PPT. I would explain it to you in the further slides. So, but I want to emphasize the fact that your sales mindset is 80% of the reason why you succeed or fail in your sales. So 80% of your success in sales will be based on how you think, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your product, and how you feel about your organization. I remember when I started out selling in the first organization, pharmaceutical organization I worked for. I'm sure I might have shared this story before, but if I haven't, maybe you just indulge me. So I started out as a sales professional about 2008. That should be how many years ago now? 2008. Someone do the maths. That's about 10 years. So it should be about 14 years ago, exactly. So then when I started out, we had the 6 weeks training. And then during that period of the training, the most important thing I know that happened for me, something changed within me. And of course, now that I can define what it is, I understand that obviously my sales confidence was on top notch. Because after the training, my mindset changed, my product knowledge changed. Of course, we had a lot of product knowledge training, we had a lot of skill acquisitions too. So everything about me changed, and that helped my confidence even when I got on the field. And it affected the way I thought about myself, it affected the way I thought about my company, and it affected the way I thought about my products. And that is, I can say, is a major reason or why I achieved most of the success rates I did even while as a representative. So it's important for you to do a check balance. Okay, how do I feel about myself? How do I feel about my products, the products that I sell? And how do I feel about my organization? All of this combined together can affect your mindset and affect your results as a salesperson. So you need to understand that your mindset affects your attitude, obviously. It will affect the way you behave. Of course, when your attitude, whatever, if you have a positive attitude, definitely it will reflect in your behavior. It will affect your actions, and obviously it will definitely affect your success rate. So imagine what happens when it's the other way around. Limiting beliefs, limiting mindsets will give you poor attitude, which will definitely exhibit poor behaviors, and there will be no actions, which will definitely lead to failure. So that's the way it works. So we need to understand that our mindset is the engine house of most of what we do. So let's go straight into the core of what we'll be doing in the next 3 days. So there are 8 mindsets that we have discovered that are peculiar to high-performing sales professionals, and that is where Combs PPT comes from. It's an abbreviation for the 8 mindsets that are peculiar to high-performing sales professionals. And I'll take you through those mindsets. And then, because of course we'll be doing that for the next 3 days, so I wouldn't elaborate so much on each of them. I'll just run you through them, and obviously so that you have an idea of what the sessions are all about and what to expect from each of the sessions. So Combs PPT, what does Combs PPT mean? Combs PPT is actually one of the solutions that we provide within the Sales Revenue Accelerator framework. It's a framework for sales professionals to convert them from poorly performing sales professionals to high-performing sales professionals. And one of the solutions that we have within that framework is what we call the high-performing sales mindset solution. So that's it. So it's an abbreviation. And what does it mean? The first C in the Combs PPT means customer-centric. How do you value your customers? How do you value your prospects? How do you relate with them, especially the most difficult ones? How do you approach them? What do you stand to gain from a relationship? What do they stand to gain from relating with you? A lot of us don't think about that. We just feel that, okay, this customer, I want to build a relationship with this customer. Have you asked yourself, does this customer want to build a relationship with me? It's a two-way thing. You know that you understand that if you're in a relationship with someone, you should understand that the moment you begin to feel drained in that relationship, you tend to shy away from communicating or even relating with that person any further. So sometimes you need to ask yourself, what is in it for me and what is in it for this prospective customer? How do I build a relationship with them? The O in the Combs PPT stands for ownership mindset. Do you understand what your company's vision is, and do you accept their mission statement? Yes, it's one thing for you to understand what the vision is. It's another thing for you to accept it. So do you understand the vision of your organization, and have you accepted the mission, or are you just hanging in there? Do you understand your responsibilities towards achieving that vision? Sorry, hold on. I want to adjust this. Okay. Okay, so do you understand what your responsibility towards achieving that vision is? Are you ready to be held accountable? Are you ready to be held accountable? So these are the questions that some of us would need to answer during the course of this 3 days summit. Okay, let's go to M. So we're still in the Combs PPT. M stands for management vibe. How do you relate with your managers and other members of the management team? How do they see you? Let me ask it in the local way. If your matter should arise on a table where your management is discussing, what would the atmosphere feel like? Would everybody be quiet and like, that troublesome person? Or would everybody be smiling and ready to, to speak good about you? So when your matter arises, what happens? So these are some of the things that a lot of high-performing sales professionals are conscious about. You need to be conscious about it. The big frog sense, we'll talk about it in the next presentation. How do you prioritize on your activities and your tasks? Are you running around and busy doing less productive tasks? Are you procrastinating on the big productive task? That's a big frog. Are you eating the big frog first? Are you drained, tired, and yet no results to show for all your efforts? There might be a reason for all of this. So that's basically what the big frog sense is all about. As high performers, you need to learn how to prioritize and be more effective at productive tasks. Self-love, another mindset, self-love mindset. How do you value yourself and all that you do? It encompasses your concept of who you are, who am I, your self-esteem, how much do you like yourself? It also encompasses your self-image. How do you see yourself? What do you deserve? What are you worth? So all of this, it's part of your self-love, and we'll be talking a lot about it in subsequent sessions. Then the problem-solving mindset. As Isaac would call it the problem-finding mindset. So, of course, for you to solve a problem, you must first find it. So Isaac will be trashing this topic I think on day 3, and you'll be talking a lot about problem-solving mindsets and how you, as a high-performing sales professional, can adopt this mindset and get results fast. So, of course, when it comes to problem solving, there's a lot that is involved. You have to first identify the problem. You have to analyze it. You have to be able to generate some brainstorm and generate some interesting ideas before you pick a solution, test the solution, get feedback. So all of these are part of the skills that are involved in the skill itself in this problem solving skill itself. But you need to have that mindset. You need to tune in. You can't actually be involved in, you can't develop that skill if you don't tune into the mindset of identifying and solving problems. So we'll talk more about it in subsequent sessions. Another mindset, we're still doing the Combs PPT. Another mindset that is very important to you as a high-performing sales professional is the product believer mindset. Are you a brand ambassador? Do you believe in your product, or are you a product destroyer? Do you speak ill about your product, especially in the presence of competitors? Do you speak ill about your company? Do you speak ill about your organization? Do you use your products? Can you recommend your products to family members and to relatives? Can you use your product if you have to? So these are some very critical questions that we'll be answering during this session. I would expect us to think and answer these questions. And then finally, the last mindset out of the 8 mindsets that are essential for high performance. The final mindset is the team player mindset. A true team player wants the same amount of light to shine on everyone. Together, everyone achieves more. Do you see your teammates as collaborators, or do you see them as competitors? I know a lot of this goes on I've been on the field, so I understand how deep this can be, how a lot of people can seem like they're team players, but they are not actually team players. So these are some questions that I would expect all of us to answer. And over the course of these sessions, all the speakers will come and hammer in on 1 or 2 of these mindsets in their session. Of course, they might not title their topics as it is here, but as they speak, you would understand if you what's that phrase? if you get it, if you know it. Oh, sorry, I'll come back to that. I'm not familiar with it, but basically, I'm sure you understand what I mean. So let's take a poll. I wanted to send this to everyone. Let me see, is this still possible? Okay, no, it's not possible. So I want us to, I don't know if you have your pens and your papers. I'm sure all of us were prepared for this session. It's a very practical session. So as much as possible, if you don't have, I forgot to send a mail to that effect, but I'll do that. If you don't have a pen or a jotter, then I really don't know that, I can't believe you're here. You need to go get a pen, go grab a pen, go grab a jotter, because you'll be taking a lot of notes, and these are notes that would help you to, see things differently and begin to, have a different perspective to things. So I want us to take a quick survey. Let me see if I can quickly take it. And then from there, after the survey, I have a few minutes left. Yeah, I have just about 12 minutes. So I'll log. Okay. Oh no, sorry, I don't know what's happening. Okay, let me try again. So let me try again. Okay, it's not coming up. I don't know why. Okay, so I'll try again maybe some other time before we end up today, and we'll see if we can take that poll, because it's very important that we try and analyze some of these mindsets where we are currently and see how we can move on to where we want to be. So, but before this was supposed to come after the poll, but it's fine. So, but I want us to take some time to reflect. Out of all the 8 mindsets that I've mentioned, what 3 mindsets, if adopted, would have the greatest positive impact on your sales career this year? I know that I've shared, so I don't know if you were here from the beginning, but if you were here, you would have listened to most of the mindsets that I shared about. And I want you to ask yourself, which one struck you? Which one struck you as one of the mindsets that you think you should, begin to develop on before the end of this year? Because you know that if you do this, if I get to do some of this, there would actually be some changes in my life. So I want you to take note of those mindsets. You can drop it in the chat room. Let's see your comments in the chat room. Let's see everyone commenting. So I want to see your comments. What mindset struck you? What mindset do you think you need to develop on this year that will definitely improve your performance in your sales this year? I'm waiting for your comments in the chat room. So are we thinking about it? Okay, Pharma says product knowledge and brand ambassador. Cool. Thank you, Pharma, for your response. So we're all thinking about it. Sorry for that. So the next question says, what are the benefits of adopting those mindsets? So out of the 3 mindsets that you have thought of that you know that you need to develop this year, what are the benefits? What are the benefits? You need to mention the benefits. So for instance, if you think that adopting the brand ambassador or product team player mindset, thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Blessing. So if, for instance, you think product knowledge, product believer. Okay, so product believer is a step above product knowledge. Product knowledge is basically you know everything about your products, and if you ask any question, you basically can answer, from your sleep. But product believer is more than just being, it's more like you love your product and you are a brand ambassador. So at that point, you use your product, you can testify to the benefits. I remember one time when I was selling a particular brand of azithromycin, and then we launched a high strength of it, 2 gram. And I remember that I was familiar with the azithromycin because I use it. In fact, I still use it till today, that particular brand. And when we launched the 2 gram, I was part of the team who launched the 2 gram. There was a bit of a struggle because when we got to a particular, because we knew our target audience, we knew people who were lazy to take antibiotics, who wanted a once daily dose, and we got the targeting right. We found them and then we launched to them. And they were excited, they were happy to use the product, but there was a complaint and it was becoming very very frequent. I could hear people say that they were having, instead of the normal, maybe a bounce of loose stool, they were having more loose stools. So I remember that there was a time I now had to, I think I had an infection and I had to take respiratory tract infection and I had to take an antibiotic. So I remember that normally I would have taken the other regular azithromycin brand, but I decided to go and buy the 2 gram because I wanted to experience what my customers were experiencing. So by the time I used it and I had that loose stool, so when I had that experience, because most of them, because of that experience, a lot of them were discouraging their colleagues. So even though it was in the clinic, a lot of them were discouraging their colleagues from taking it because they were like, it will run your tummy, or it will run your tummy, So, but when I had taken it and I experienced that loose stool, and I found out that it just happened once, I could confidently go back and tell the clinician and the nurses or the pharmacists in the clinic and tell them that, okay, yes, you would experience a loose stool, but it's just once. It's not a continuous, it doesn't persist, and that was from a personal experience. And that gave me confidence to sell that product even more. Eventually, so I could advise better, I could tell them, okay, don't take it while you're at work. Don't take it in the morning. Maybe you should wait till you get home, when you are done with your daily activities, and you can take it before you decide to, before you have your dinner, or immediately after your dinner, while you still have some time, so that you just have that one bounce of loose stool and you're good to go. So these are things that product believers do. You have used your products, you can testify to the benefits of your products, you understand your products inside out, because you dream about your products. So that's beyond that. So I hope I've been able to expand that a bit. So what do you think the benefits of adopting those mindsets are for you personally? Those mindsets, once you adopt those mindsets, how would that help your business this year? How would it help your business this year? How would it help your success this year? What are the consequences of not adopting those mindsets? What will happen to you this year? How would that affect your business this year? So I want us to be as clear as possible. Write them down and think about them. What do you know? Who do you know can be a mentor towards adopting this mindset? So it's one thing for you to understand the benefits, and another thing for you to take a step further to see someone who has that mindset that you want to learn and help and follow the steps of that person. Brian Tracy says the fastest way to get so good at what you do or achieve success at what you do is to find an expert and copy the experts. Follow the experts, copy the experts, and do what the expert does. That's the fastest way to get success at what you do. And that's basically the mindset behind the Pharma Sales Summit. We get together a lot of experts for you to copy and follow. So if I were you, I would take note of all the experts that will be coming to these sessions and never miss a session, and find a way to ask questions, find a way to connect with them, find a way to network with them, because the truth is that that's the only way you're going to move a step closer to where you want to get to, by identifying someone whom you can copy till you get good at it, and then of course find your unique self and find your uniqueness in all of it. So I hope that we've been able to enjoy this session. It's the opening session for the Pharma Sales Summit, and basically to just tell you all what the Sales Summit is all about. So I will try and see if we can run the survey later today. We still have some time later today. I'll try and see if we can run the poll. But in the meantime, let me just run through. Remember, I told you that lack of sales confidence is just one arm of the 3 reasons why salespeople perform poorly. So basically the other reasons why sales professionals perform poorly are, like we said, lack of poor planning, no plan to win and keep customers, no plan to prioritize or maximize opportunities to grow your sales, distractions on the field. So many of us are distracted, especially when we're not doing well, we get distracted. So all of this we have been able to solve with the Sales Revenue Accelerator. And that's why I'm introducing it to you today. So a lot of us will be hearing a lot about the Sales Revenue Accelerator. You might be wondering, what is this Sales Revenue Accelerator? It's actually a framework that we have developed to help to solve the three common mistakes, the three common reasons we have identified that sales professionals fail to meet their sales target or are incompetent at what they do. The Sales Revenue Accelerator solves the problem for them in different ways. We have coaching sessions, we have online programs, we have workshops, we have challenges that we do, we have the summit, the Pharma Sales Summit, and we have consulting that we run for organizations. So all of this, the same system, the same framework we're using, which is the Sales Revenue Accelerator. And how do we do this? There are 3 steps to it. The first step is the sales confidence booster. The second step is the customer loyalty builder. We call it the customer loyalty builder. And then the third step is the sales revenue multiplier. So all of this helps to boost your sales confidence, help you build loyal customers, and also help you maximize opportunities that you see all around you. And in April, we'll be launching the Pharma Sales Accelerator program for new sales professionals. So if you're a new sales professional and you're curious to know, how can I get from where I am rookie to become an expert or professional at what I do in the next 2 years, you want to partake of this summit. You want to partake of this program, sorry. So it's going to be a 6 weeks online program, and we'll run it through for the next, from April till about May, thereabout, yes. And it's going to be, you're going to have an online course. You're also going to have membership access, mentorship access, and there's going to be lots of role plays and exercises and fun. We're going to have so much fun, and definitely you have a certificate at the end of it all. So my time is up. If you're interested in joining us for this program, please send me a mail, chinerajafa@gmail.com, or I'll drop a form, a Google form in the chat room where you can fill, and then we can get talking afterwards. So enjoy the Pharma Sales Summit 2.0. You're welcome, everyone, once again. And I hope that you maximize all the opportunities you find here and practice all you have learned to achieve high performance in this year. Join us in the Telegram group. That's where we're going to be having lots of more of this. Like you heard Mr. Ifeanyi said, it's not going to be the end this year. We're going to have more and more of this, hopefully, this year. So follow us on social media. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. It's High Performing Sales Professionals. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.